Hello everyone, welcome back for the continuation for this video tutorial, section number 3, MVC controller. So for this case, we have already described how the architecture of controller work behind the scene. Let's go ahead and implement controller together to see the effect. So let's go ahead and open up your course editor here. And I'm going to go over to controller folders. And in this case, you can see that we already have one controller up here we call home controller, and we do have also the function index as well. Okay, just keep in mind that that is created by the time when you create the new projects. Now we will create our own controller. So right click over this folder, right click on it, select new C# class. I'm going to name this class as the products controller. Now whenever you name your controller class, always have the name of your controller as the prefix and followed by the word controller. That's the naming conventions. Okay, so then enter here. So in this case, you can see that it create the namespace for me that is going to be project1 dot the subfolder controller. Okay, inside this namespace is our class structure. So in this case, what we need to do is we have to go ahead and implement this class. So first, let me stop the script. Okay, so this class have to be inherited from controller class in this case. Okay, and also inside this class, we are going to implement our first actions. So we are going to say public, okay, and then what it's going to do is return a string. So we put data type as strings, and the name of the function will be index. Okay, so it's going to return hello as the response. All right. So in this case, I'm going to save it. And then I'm going to run the application one more time. So it's going to take some time, and they say that there are some error messages. Okay, so if you want to look at this error, then you can look at this and say they say that the type namespace name controller could not be found. So that means over here we also need to import necessary files so that we can run these applications. Okay, so in this case, a namespace controller is not there. So what I need to do is I have to using system dot I think it is under Microsoft. Okay, let me check the reference over here. Okay, so for the controller class, okay, we can actually look at home controllers, and then we can look at over here. So we need this import. Okay, so let's copy from here and then go back to product controller. We control V over here and save for it. Now let's run the project one more time. F number 5. Okay, then it's going to debug the application, and now they say that the program is ready to go under localhost 5000. Okay, so now we have already implemented a controller that inherited from this. Okay, so this one will be used to serve whenever user specify the products as the root, and this function will be automatically used to serve for it. So let's go ahead and do this. So in here, I am going to call okay, so I'm going to call this with slash and then enter products. You don't have to put the full name there. Okay, just put the prefix of controller. And since we do not put any actions name over here, we are going to just put products. And what happened is that whenever you issue this command, it's going to give you this response as the output. The reason for this, as I said, whenever you say we want to work with product controller, it's going to look at our controller folder and they say, okay, there is one controller named products, and since we do not have any indication about any particular functions, it's going to look at the index functions. Okay, so now imagine that you want to also have another functions to respond for another actions. So you can say if we say action number 1 here, we want to return action 1 as the output, for example. You can also have another action here as well. So action number 2. Okay, so save this, and now I'm going to execute the project one more time. Alright, now I'm going to open the same web browser here, and now look at this. If I say products, okay, this message saying that okay, we are going to look at the controller product for you, and it's going to call index functions. Now if I say I want to also work with another function, now action number 1 here, so I can specify that I want to call this action function. Now you can see that the return message, the return outputs now become action 1. I can also work with action number 2, and you could see that the different result comes up as action number 2. Now these concepts, okay, tell us that if you want to execute any controller, you need to indicate the controller name. If you want to select particular actions or function to be called, you also have to have another slash followed by the name of the action. Without this action name, it's going to look at the index. Okay, now let's take a look at what if we do not have index functions. Okay, so let me remove this, and then F number 5 one more time. Now what we are going to do is we're going to leave this empty. We do not put actions, any action. We just want to put products as controller, because we know that with this action, with this call, it will try to look at to figure out do we have index or not. If that's the case, they call this action for you. But if I do it like this, you can see that they say no web page was found for this web address, because we do not implement the index functions. Alright, so that's the trick. Now let me put it back on here and then rerun it, and now okay. Alright, I think this is running now, so I can say, and you can see that this message comes back in. Okay, so this video tutorial we have shown you how to work with controllers, create your own controller, create your own actions, and how do you execute the controllers and action from your URL here. So in the next video tutorial, we are going to implement the business view so that we can display the data. Okay, along with that also we are going to explore more in terms of controller actions. Okay, what types of data that you can return in addition to the string. Thank you for watching.